Hi and welcome back to the channel. My name is David, and in this video I'm going to discuss how I mandrel my brass after applying moly. I mandrel the brass after full-length resizing, but prior to cleaning the brass. The reason for this is I want to make sure that any lubrication, whether it be the lanolin or the moly that was applied for this mandrel step, is fully removed. The specific mandrel that I'm using is a 21st century mandrel inside of a 21st century mandrel holder. It's a black nitride mandrel that measures 261 thousandths. I use this particular mandrel because of the size of brass that I particularly have. I'll discuss in a later video how to actually measure to determine the correct bushing size and mandrel size for your brass. The process here is fairly simple. You just take a piece of brass that you've already annealed and full-length resized, applied the moly to, and then put it into the press to be able to run the mandrel through it. You want to make sure that it dwells there for just a few seconds. It doesn't need long, anywhere between 1 and 2 seconds is plenty. This will help prevent any springback and allow the case to settle. As you can see, the process is pretty straightforward. I generally try to work from left to right, taking a piece of brass from the left that has not had the mandrel run through it yet, put it into the press, mandrel it, allow it to dwell for a few seconds, 1 to 2 is plenty, and then move it over to the finished bin to the right. After that, it's just rinse and repeat and continue to go through. The whole process is fairly straightforward and shouldn't take long at all. I also make sure that I reduce the length of throw on the press so that I can feel when the mandrel is actually running over the particular piece of brass. You want just a small amount of resistance. You don't want the neck to be so tight that you can't push the mandrel through or it takes an exorbitant amount of force. That would generally mean that you've over-resized the neck during the full-length resizing step, and that you might want to switch which bushing die you're using for the full-length resizing. But you do want to feel the resistance. If it has no resistance at all, that means that you might be undersizing the neck, or that that particular piece of brass may be damaged or no longer usable. If I feel no tension or too much tension, in general, I'll stop and get out a pair of calipers to be able to measure the inside of the neck. This is something that's learned by feel. I can't quite describe it to you, but as soon as you feel the difference between a piece of brass that has the correct neck tension and one that doesn't, you'll understand what I mean. During this process, I'll also occasionally find a cracked neck. If I do, I simply discard that piece of brass immediately. I'm going to fast forward through this next portion of the video. The entire process took about 8 minutes to process 100 pieces of brass. And that's all there is to the mandrel. Very easy, very simple. You just need the right tools. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please consider liking and subscribing. I will be continuing to put out videos on my entire reloading process, as well as reviews of products and some special development and design projects coming up ahead as well. Thank you so much. See you in the next video.